Nobody wants to end their life with getting eaten alive, or nonetheless just be bit by a wild animal. While we would love to think that we are so separate from nature, living in our cozy homes and modern cities, the fact is, we are still part of nature, and getting bit and eaten by a wild animal, while extremely unlikely, is still possible. So we wanted to create this quick little video here to share with you the 3 primary reasons that animals attack humans. Now this is going to include things for creatures such as bears, leopards, and cheetahs, which might be attacking people for food, and these are creatures which are so large and powerful that it's very likely that they would kill you if they attacked you. However, this also is going to include creatures such as the raccoon, the skunk, possums, and other smaller creatures which really have no hopes of killing you from the bites and little scratches they do themselves, but nonetheless are painful and annoying to deal with. So whether you're afraid of getting eaten alive on some hike or you just don't want to get bitten by the neighborhood raccoon, this video is going to share with you the 3 primary reasons that wild creatures attack humans. Number 1 is food, of course. Now, creatures that are hunting for wild food are typically not going to hunt humans, especially grown-up adults. However, it does happen. For example, in Florida, there have been several cases in which people are eaten by a crocodile or an alligator. In other cases, there have been bears, cheetahs, etc. hunting wild humans. However, again, this is typically rare, and it only happens when the creature is extremely aggravated, hungry, and doesn't really have any other food sources. Also, they will primarily focus on very old people or young children, the reason being that they're a lot much easier to hunt than a grown adult. Number 2 is they feel threatened or they want to protect their young. A recent study involving animal attacks all over North America, Western Europe, and even Russia found that 50% of the attacks involved risky human behavior. So what does that mean? That means that the wild creature, for example, a bear, cheetah, whatever, it felt threatened by something that the humans were doing, which if they didn't do, they probably would not have been attacked. A good example of this is many people are coming to Yellowstone National Park trying to take photos with bears and wolves and all this stuff. And that's great and all, but trying to get really close to take a selfie with that bear is maybe not the most intelligent of decisions. If you see a wild creature, just let it be and stay away from it. Don't directly run away from it and don't directly run towards it, but don't try to engage with it in any way, especially if you see a younger creature. For example, females are very unaggressive unless they are dealing with their young. So if you see a bear with her cubs, she is way more likely to be extremely aggressive, and she's only going to attack you if she feels that her cubs or her herself is at risk. Now the third and final reason is animals simply kind of go crazy. And this isn't the most common of attacks, but it does happen. For example, a creature just could be randomly aggressive because it's extremely hungry, but might not even be trying to eat you. You know when one human, maybe your friend or mom or something, is in an extremely bad mood and so they kind of get a little bit mean? The same thing can happen with wild creatures, where if they're just not feeling good, they didn't sleep right, they are extremely hungry, maybe a bit sick, they can be more likely to attack. One example of this is rabies. Rabies is primarily spread through bites, strangely enough, and the way the virus affects the central nervous system of wild creatures is it kind of makes them more crazy, and it really just makes them more aggressive, which in turn is what helps to spread the virus. This is why if you've ever been bit by a wild animal, it's extremely important you go to the hospital and get checked out. Because if you get bit, you might contract rabies or some other deadly illness. So when it comes to dealing with wild creatures, the most important thing is to just not engage in any risky behavior. So for example, if you're going out for a hike in the wild, don't try to take selfies with bears, don't try to engage them in any way, and if you see them, just get out of the way calmly. You also will want to research whichever area that you are going to and find the specific advice for each type of wild animal, as each wild animal could have its own video on its behavior and what to do if you encounter it. But the most important thing is just to not engage them. Now, we at Wildlife X Team International specialize in safe and responsible removal of wildlife and pests. And many ways in which people get bit by wild creatures is the wild creature is trying to look for shelter. So, wild animals and pests are now infesting homes all over America because they've found if they can just sneak into the attic or some other secret little area in or near the house, they can get a huge advantage. Especially, they'll be able to survive winter, store food, and all of that good stuff. Now, while that's great for them, it's not good for you because it can damage your property, and they leave their waste everywhere, so it's really not good. But it's important that you don't deal with the creatures, especially if they have young with them as well, as they are going to be feeling like they're getting evicted out of their home, which is why you want to let a specialist like us deal with the problem. So if you think you have a wildlife or pest-related problem, you can give us a call at 855-WILDLIFE or visit our website at wildlifexteam.com, and we'll be sure to talk with you and see how we can handle the problem. Thank you so much for watching, and be safe wherever you are. I'm Michael with Wildlife X Team, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Having trouble with wildlife in your home or office? Wildlife X Team is your solution to get rid of the raccoons, bats, rats, and snakes. Having a professional team, we offer both residential and commercial animal removal methods by using innovative and integrated techniques. Our services include animal trapping, dead animal removal, nuisance wild animal control, and animal capture. What are you waiting for? To get 24/7 service, call us at 855-WILDLIFE for an affordable solution for your nuisance wildlife issues.